Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your day is going great. Mine's been awesome so far, and today we have a ton to talk about. First, we are starting it off with European Contenders, guys. The grand final was today, and guess what? Team Giganti came in clutch. Zappies and Zupe from the Overwatch League, Florida Mayhem, one of the worst teams in Season 1, now in European Contenders, taking home the championship, as well as Davin. Congratulations to them. We're going to be covering some of the craziest plays from that match. It was an amazing one. Then moving on to the second part of the video, this is going to be a big one. Reinforce, he gave his official Overwatch League power rankings, and I'm going to be honest, I don't really agree with them. A lot of it's really wild and just doesn't make sense in my head, but you know, it is his power rankings. I respect that. We're going to be breaking them down. I'll tell you guys how he ranked every single team and why, then I'll give my opinion on it. If you guys are excited to watch this video, do me a favor, slap a like on it. Also, if you want to stay updated with the Overwatch League every day, be sure to subscribe to my channel. So let's go ahead and kick it off with the European Grand Finals, and it's pretty funny because I bet a lot of you guys didn't even know it was on today because Blizzard has just not been advertising Contenders or the Tier 2 scene at all recently. It seems like it's gotten worse over time. I'm glad they've been doing these streaming events with the drops, you know, Emong, he's got Jeff Kaplan on the stream, getting a bunch of viewers there. It's cool, you know, it's awesome to see, but they need to involve the Tier 2 scene in it somehow. 5K viewers on a Grand Final is just not acceptable, especially considering how good the games were. Even though there was a ton of goats as usual, it was still great play. Because of course, you know, as seen on the screen, they have to advertise their Bastet challenge instead of advertising Overwatch Contenders at all. It's the Grand Final. Like, you're using the launcher in such a poor way. Like, just throw Contenders on there somewhere. There's so much room. It could have been on the second slide, but you wanted to have 5 about this challenge. It's unfortunate. Tier 2 scene needs some love from Blizzard. So I'm sure since a lot of you guys missed out on it, it was a really close series between Angry Titans and Team Giganti. They went back and forth, and it almost came down to the wire. Angry Titans, they needed to win on Hollywood to force the 7th and final map, but Team Giganti, they came in clutch. Zappies, oh my god, he had one of the craziest diva bombs I've ever seen. It's like it landed in the perfect spot that it never lands in to get like 5 kills, despite there being a Brigida shield, Zarya bubbles, and a Reinhardt shield. It killed everybody. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Have the opportunity for a preemptive strike. Oh, Lowstitch actually receives Milky Man on a silver platter right in front of his face as he gets booped in. That's a beat on top of a Transcendence. Not normally what you want to do, but Giganti needs to be able to turn this one around. There will be a grab and a shatter, but a self-destruct on top. Can they remove the shield? Yes, Zappis! They can! 4 kills for Zappies. That is how you turn around a fight. That is how you play Diva. That is how you come and say, I'm going back to the Overwatch League. I don't care what you say.
Alright, now I know Little Bo is the one to credit for that. I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but he had a massive boop. If you don't see it, go back, rewind it, put it in slow-mo. It's like the very last millisecond that he boops 4 of them out into the bomb. But I've still never seen a diva bomb like that land on a pile and kind of just like drop on them slowly. That was just crazy. Little Bo coming in clutch. Zappies with the perfect positioning. Still, Zarya bubbles weren't perfectly timed. Angry Titans needed to get the Brigida shield. They had to get something out there to protect themselves, but credit to Little Bo and Zappies. It was awesome. This was the team fight that kind of snowballed the victory in favor for Giganti. The last team fight was absolutely nuts though. Angry Titans were ahead, and then out of nowhere a beat from Little Bo again. He saved the day and secured the championship for Team Giganti. Let's roll the last team fight because it was epic.
But Davin just decided didn't care. He ran on forward. 25 seconds stand between Team Giganti and claiming Season 3 of Overwatch Contenders Europe. There are so many talks for Angry Titans, but as we've seen before, Giganti don't care what you throw at them. They will throw back, and they will throw back harder. 85% on the grab for Davin, but Angry Titans got a wealth of ults. They've got the Giganti combo. They have the grab, they have the self-destruct, but Davin has earned himself one, and they've got 4 ults of their own. OT is here, the grab comes in, self-destruct more defensively this time, but Zappies uses the self-destruct, but misses. So shielded up, Medivo finds 2. 80 finally find the turnaround they need. Milky Man finds 1 in Urki, but Zappe's not done either. Bloody is going to go down as Aafox finds a kill of his own, and Zappis only got trying to juggle Milky Man, who's not dead just yet. Zuppe finds yet another kill, but has nowhere to run now. He's only got one, but Littlebo runs back in with a sound barrier.
They're going to be healthy, George. They're going to be here.
Facility finds one, he finds another. Overtime is here. It's only Lucio on the point, and Team Giganti will find the Contenders Season 3 European title.
The clutch never ends for Team Giganti on point A. You think that 3 people isn't enough to win that out. 3 people and a beat. Lil Bo was there, Zuppe was there, Davin was there. Davin's been here all along since the beginning of Contenders, and he's going to finish it a champion.
Wow. Congratulations to Team Giganti, Davin playing out of his mind, Zappies, Lil Bo, they were all there. And I have to say, these European casters today, they did an amazing job. And I'll be honest, I haven't watched much European Contenders this past couple seasons, but I always tune into the grand final, and really seems like these European casters are much better than the North American ones. I love ZP, and I think Avast, he was a great addition this season, and they've done great, but in general, the casters overall in North America, especially the new duo, now, I don't know their name, I forgot it already, but I was watching them cast yesterday, Team Envy versus Philadelphia Fusion University, and I really felt like they were underwhelming. It was like, the casting wasn't that great. They were kind of slow on picking up on things, and specifically when it came to like plays. For example, on the 5th and final map on Busan, it was the first round. Philadelphia Fusion University, they lost Changsik. They went down one person, and it was a 5v6, but they continued to fight, and Alarm, he popped his Trank. And ever since... And as soon as they saw him pop the Trank, they were like, oh my god, what are they doing? 5v6 Trank, so bad. Well, and they went on about it for like a minute. But guess what? The reason Alarm popped his Trank was to get the Trank out of the enemy team. So they went into a fight, 5v6 and Tranked, but then this caused Team Envy to Trank back, because you know they're going to lose if they don't Trank, so they have to, even though it's 5v6. So that was a great play from Philadelphia University. Why not force a Trank out when you only have 5 people alive to delay the fight longer, and then when it's done, your teammate will get back, and now you have an overall 6v6 with no Tranks on either team. And then they went on to win the fight, and even as they were winning the fight, the casters were still talking about how it was a bad play, and they constantly just missed out on little things like that, and they would get hung up on things that didn't matter. I know this is kind of a rant, and I'm sorry for it, but I was a little underwhelmed with the casters. I wish they would have done a better job for such a big match, considering Envy almost knocked out Philly for the first time. It would have been the first match Philadelphia University has ever lost in their existence. That's insane. And it just seems like Philadelphia Fusion University is unbeatable. This is not the first time they've gone to Game 5 where they were down and about to lose and then came back and won the last 2 maps. They're incredibly clutch. And it's exciting to see. If they win 3 seasons in a row without losing 1 match, I'll lose my mind. That's a crazy statistic. They really are chasing history right now. We may never see this type of dominance ever again in Contenders history, so look out. Be sure to tune into Philadelphia Fusion University matches coming up next week. Anyways, that's enough for Overwatch Contenders. Let's move on now and take a look at Reinforce's Overwatch League power rankings, because they're pretty wild. Starting off with number 20, we have Washington Justice. Now, I understand some people do agree with this, and they think Washington won't win 1 game the entire season. I just have to say, I don't think Washington Justice is going to be a good team, mainly due to their early schedule. Now, I covered this in my first power rankings video, or actually my second, because I did rank Washington Justice number 19. They have the toughest schedule going into the first stage. They have to play like Philly, London, New York, Seoul Dynasty, LA Gladiators, LA Valiant, like all in a row to start off the season. Of course, that's going to be impossible. They might not win an entire game over that stretch, but eventually when they start playing teams like Chengdu Hunters, Florida Mayhem, Boston Uprising, Houston Outlaws, Paris Eternal, some of the weaker teams, they'll definitely be able to pick up some, because just look at them overall. Like, I don't get how people think they might not win a game, or how he's going to put LOL next to them and put the Chengdu Hunters above Washington Justice. Let's compare Washington Justice and the Chengdu Hunters. Sure, Chengdu Hunters, they have like a couple rising stars in the Chinese scene. A couple. Do we really think a couple stars from the Chinese scene is going to be able to beat a team coached by Wizard Hyung, a main tank called Yanis, a DPS player called Addo, support player Guido, and I know some people aren't as hyped on Guido as I am, but he played pretty decent for Seoul Dynasty when he was put in there. He's not going to be awful. He'll be a decent player in the league. There's also a ton of hype behind Corey. I don't see how a couple Chinese stars and some Taiwanese players and just random players from China are going to be able to beat that team or be better than them consistently. I don't see it. It blows my mind. So that's pretty much the first two, and that's like my main problem with this list. I do have some other other issues like him ranking Florida and Boston pretty high, which I do think there is a chance that Florida and Boston could have decent seasons. Specifically Boston Uprising, if Huck really is that great at coaching these players and finding that hidden talent, it's possible. As for the Florida Mayhem, I'm a little less anticipating that they'll have a decent season. They do have some overall good Korean players, but I feel like the management is just going to doom them. And then the last issue that I want to point out that I have with this list is that he put Toronto Defiant at number 18. Okay, I get it. They have some players who aren't that known, but they still come from a top Korean Contenders team. There's no way that players from a top Korean Contenders team, and also Nako and Envy, who did play on good Overwatch League teams and had good performances, will be ranked number 18. I don't see it. Maybe you could put him at like 16 or 15. I'd respect that, but putting Toronto Defiant at 18 is just like blasphemy. I disagree completely. But anyways, that's my opinion so far on that. I'm going to save the rest for my actual power rankings, and we'll just go through these. So now moving on to number 17, we have the Guangzhou Charge for mixed nationalities. They will have slumps, and this will affect people's mentality. Language barrier is big. Rest in peace. Moving on to the Atlanta Reign. DeFran is good, but will have a dramatic season. Mixed nationality and coach that got kicked. Inexperienced Overwatch League team. Florida Mayhem, underrated to be honest. Some good pickups, coaching and team environment, big question mark, but could be average. I could agree there. Shanghai Dragons, overrated because fan favorite, will still have problems, especially mentally. Big rest in peace. Moving on to number 13, we have the Boston Uprising. Underrated, Axiom is a god. Huck makes it work through experience. Number 12, Seoul Dynasty. Core getting outdated and washed up. Fisher known for drama and will self-destruct mid-season. Number 11, Paris Eternal. Solid group, but coaches will help get them W's. I agree, they do have a good coaching staff. I went over that in my last video, but I think they have a lot of weak pieces compared to a lot of these new Korean teams. Moving on to the next, number 10, Houston Outlaws. Solid group, knows the league conditions, Dante will help, smart gamers plus Linkser. Okay, could sort of agree, I think it's a little high. Moving on to number 9, we have the Vancouver Titans. Overrated LOL, will have to adapt to scheduling and USA conditions. Dallas Fuel, number 8, solid core and staff, knows the league conditions. Number 7, London Spitfire, okay. Lucky with meta and playoffs, still meta dependent. Gestures Ryan is a joke, okay. Bird Ring inconsistent, sucked in league play. Interesting. Okay, San Francisco Shock. Huge talent pool, still young, a lot of emotions to deal with, like maybe choking and team chemistry, etc. Moving on to number 5, we have the LA Valiant. Solid core, will win through leadership, consistency, coaching, lack of star DPS. Noah spend money, make that team dope, yo. Okay, moving on to number 4, we have the Hangzhou Spark. Underrated, insane individual skill, strong core overall. Coach Mask is sick, good group, scrim together long. Number 3, Philadelphia Fusion, veterans and star talent, great staff and training conditions. Okay, makes sense. Number 2, LA Gladiators, translation problem, but Bishu helps, great DPS, and 6 support core. Number 1, New York Excelsior, doesn't need reasoning. Now, after going over all of it again, there are some glaring issues in why he rated some teams in certain positions, like having Philly at number 3, and then the London Spitfire at number 7. Philly's overall season was just as inconsistent and sucked in league play as the London Spitfires, and London Spitfire actually had way higher peaks than Philly, so you know, for that reason, if you want to rate London so low, you better rate Philly low too. Oh, and by the way, Philly also got lucky with the meta in the playoffs, so a little iffy there. But the biggest thing here is putting Hangzhou Spark at number 4 and saying they have a strong core overall and saying their coaching staff is sick and they have a good group, scrim together long. It sounds like they're talking about Runaway, the Vancouver Titans. Like literally, that is a Vancouver. I don't know why he's saying they're overrated when the Vancouver's core absolutely destroyed the Hangzhou Sparks core every time they played in Korea. So I don't know, it's a little weird, but hey, it is his power rankings. I respect that completely. It's exciting to always see people's power rankings. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about his power rankings and also all of the Overwatch Contender stuff. Drop a like on this video. Also subscribe to my channel for more daily Overwatch League content. That will be it for me though, guys. I'm out of here. Peace.